This idea of a hoop house has been a hope and a thought floating around for many years, and to have students run with this project and to bring it to fruition is just an incredible opportunity for people, and the beauty of having a project like this on a college campus where people are learning and engaging the whole time, from when they're building it to when they'll be growing and harvesting food. This program and our campus sustainability programs use Skidmore's campus as a living learning lab. So throughout the year, Emily, Julia, and Lily were doing a ton of research, interviewing and engaging people. And simultaneously, they were trying to figure out how we could get a hoop house right here on campus. And momentum kept building.
Julia, Lily, and I started this as our environmental studies capstone project last fall. We have been working on it for over a year at this point, and I don't think any of us would have thought would turn into what it is today.
And we began by reaching out to a bunch of our local farmers just to figure out what a hoop house is, and after we learned more about the ins and outs of the structure is when we pivoted back to figuring out if it was feasible to have one on campus. We reached out to our campus stakeholders, including dining hall and facilities, as well as making Excel sheets, calculating a return on investments, and seeing if it was possible to have one in this space right next to our garden.
So we were pretty apprehensive about the budget's approval in the spring just because it's such a big project. But once we got approved, we were really excited to start thinking about this summer and this build coming to life. And our first step was staking all the stakes into the ground. Okay, so there's 26 stakes in the ground for this structure, and they're actually 2 feet deep. And we had to cut 2 in order to make them the right height, but now they're not going anywhere. So. Once our stakes were in the ground, things started to flow much easier. We were able to then put up our hoops, attach any structural supports we needed, like our wind braces and our trusses, as well as then frame and add on our polycarbonate end walls. We finished off by throwing the plastic sheet over the top as our ceiling, and that was a really cool day that involved our garden manager and Northwood stewards.
Every day was such a learning curve, and I would say that we left every day looking back at the structure, asking ourselves, how did we just do that? Door installation was pretty confusing. It came with a whole different instruction manual than the house. We found that there were lots of pieces to put together, so this one is where it rolls, and then there's all these other sorts of attachments that took us a while to figure out, but then we got there, and now we have 2 sliding doors that work.
And the most important part of this was definitely framing both the door and the vent and making sure that those entrance ways were wide enough for A, people to get to, and B, for the vent to fit in.
We sawed out all of these metal pieces on our own with a Sawzall, which was something new for both of us.
Practice perseverance, stick with what you started. We have experienced so many challenges throughout this project. Every day there was a different challenge that we hadn't anticipated, and everything took us longer than we thought.
Well, when we had finished the build, we got to host an opening ceremony, and at the opening ceremony we hosted all kinds of people, our campus stakeholders, some students, faculty, staff, and some of our local farmers. And it was there that we realized, after people were painting on our raised beds and pointing out some of our plants that had fruited and just conversing in a space, that we had created so much more than just a greenhouse, rather a space that was fostering community and helping people learn, which was really exciting.
I think it's just a place that we've realized will bring so many people together.
I'm hoping that people are able to wander in and out of this space and learn to love the plants the way we loved them.
So this whole row is organic red sweet bell peppers. This row is doing the best, as you can see, and we got all of our plants from Hewitt's, which is local, only about a 5-minute drive away.
Favorite one, it's a little curly Q. these are our tomatoes and basil. Tomatoes and basil are friends in the garden. They like to grow next to each other, which is super cool because they also taste really good together. We have these stakes in our ground so that it helps the tomatoes grow up to be nice and big and tall. And then the basil's in between all our tomatoes.
So the marigolds are here to scare away the shrews. The shrews don't like the marigolds, and they've been our biggest pest of the summer. And as you can see, this row is doing much better, so.
As much as we think it's a full house now, I'm excited to see how much fuller it can get.
You poured so much love into this house, and I really feel like a lot of students will be able to engage with it, and I'd love to talk to them in the future.
So the really big value in the hoop house is the use of it as a tool for engagement, right? It really is a sense of campus pride. It should be a source and a sense of campus pride, as well as a mark of progress, a mark of sustainability progress on campus as we continue to incorporate sustainability through our strategic planning and our campus master plan. And this is a really visible, tangible thing on campus to showcase, how we're doing and where we can be going with sustainability.